Productions presents Western League Soccer. The San Francisco Blackhawks come to L.A. to play the L.A. Heat. The Blackhawks are on a roll. Johnny Boyle and Joe Naiman from Soccer San Diego magazine here to give you the play-by-play. The Heat in the white and the Hawks in the yellow. The two goaltenders, Mark Doherty, who turned in a good performance last night in San Diego, takes on goaltender Mark Littman in the white. We're underway. Both these teams now fighting it out for first place. Let's give you the lineups as we have them. Billy Thompson wears 3 for the Heat. Mark Evans 4. Dan Pena 7. J.B. Frost number 6. John Gerard number 10. Mike Lapper number 8. Jeff Hooker number 9. Look out for Jeff Hooker. He's a great one, I'm told. Jim Gavarra number 12. Mike Gregorian 14. Alan Kelly 18. Kostas Skouras number 16. Sammy George 17, Tim McGrath 13, Brian Wendell 15, and Dale Irvine 21. And that's the lineup. One more, by the way, no number for German Laverde. That's the lineup for the LA Heat. The Heat 1 point or so behind the San Diego Nomads. And for the Blackhawks coming down from the Bay Area. And they need a big weekend, and they got the first half of that big weekend last night with a thrilling 3-1 come from behind victory. Mark Doherty's in goal. Alan Bailey had number 6 last night. Johnny Doyle, the defender, number 3. Ignacio Navarrete, number 4. Mark Semioli, number 5. Dominic Camille, number 8. Quinn wears number 9. Dave Palak, prolific striker, number 10. Koperning had 2 goals last night. Steve with 11. Troy Dyack, number 12. Scott Wolferdinger, number 14. Peter Woodring, 15. George Pastor, look out for George. He had a booming score last night. He actually had the winning goal against San Diego. And Tim Martin sports 18, and Red Hardy right off the campus, number 19, and the goalie is Mark Doherty. And Joe Naiman from Soccer San Diego magazine, what are you looking forward to in seeing this game tonight? A battle for first place involving both divisions.
That's true. As Jerry Burwell of the Nomads said, I hope San Francisco wins 1-0. Los Angeles needs 2 points to catch the Nomads for the Southern Division lead.
And San Francisco puts the first shot towards the goaltender, and Mark Littman handles that one easily outside of the goal area. And coming down now unopposed will be the LA Heat.
That means that if they score 2 goals, they're tied, even if they lose. If they win, they're ahead. If they lose in penalty kicks and score nothing, they still get 2 points, so they're tied with the Nomads, albeit if they play 1 more game.
That was number 9. That was Hooker, and he's the one to look for. That was his first encounter with the ball. Look at the center forward there now. Number 10, David Palak. David the towhead out there. And it's played back to Doherty. Doherty was greatly aided last night by what I was calling the Great Wall of China, the gold-shirted defense led by Doyle. And there's the kick now up the center of the field. It's a little hard to see the markings on this field, Joe, or is that just my eyesight? But this field is not marked as brightly as we're used to. It's a beautiful facility otherwise here in Torrance, and the game being played on the 4th of July weekend.
This is one of the rare east-west fields in soccer, and in fact this is going to be a detriment to the Heat the first half. They are looking into the sun, both their goalie when he's trying to prevent shots and their offense when they're trying to put the ball into the net.
Now here's Pastor bringing it up, and he's dumped, and there's a foul call. Pastor, head over heels there. Well, Pastor really showed us something last night. He boomed a shot from about 35 yards out, and it was the winner as he put it by Anton Nissel. And an injury right away here at the start of things. The Blackhawks coach said they need points for this weekend. They stopped the Nomads, and now they're gunning for the Heat, but the Heat have been on a roll as well. And let's see now from about 30 yards out what George Pastor can do.
Free kick coming up for the Blackhawks.
Pastor and Pellick standing there. This might be a little bit of a trick again. They just popped it out to Pastor. They did it again, and he boots it left-footed. A hard shot. He scored. That's twice he's done that, Joe. That's remarkable.
Well, nobody thought Koperning would take it except for the Blackhawks. It was a planned play. Los Angeles had no idea who was going to take it. They gave it to Koperning. Caught the defense unprepared.
My, these Blackhawks are impressive, aren't they? And that score came. I'm looking for a clock here. I see it. Well, the clock says 000, so that's no help. My guess would be about 4 minutes.
3 or 4 minutes into the game, very early.
Boy, oh boy, the Blackhawks have flown down from the Bay Area. They are on a roll. They are also dangerous. Do not foul them within 30 yards of the goal. 1-0 for the Bay Area team. You know, San Francisco was the area where area sporting teams began. I hate to say this, but it started in roller derby of all things, Joe, with the San Francisco Halleck to Korpening. It started with the San Francisco Bay Area Bombers, and then you had the Minnesota Twins, and then the California Angels. And this very interesting team from San Francisco now playing in 5 different stadia around the area to introduce pro outdoor soccer or reintroduce it once again to the San Francisco Bay Area. Now the Heat, who have been stung early on, 1-0, and they have a shot from about 30 yards out. They approach the ball, they boot it. I think the PA announcer thought that was going to go in, Joe, but no dice. So the gold shirts dodged the bullet. How's that for the first 5 minutes of play, huh?
Well, Gregorian shot it hard, but he didn't get as lucky as Kopernager. Maybe it wasn't as well executed as Kopernager's shot.
Well, you know, that little trick play of just making that little pass, that throws the goalie's sense of direction off. Suddenly the ball is coming from another angle. And right on Johnny on the spot on that one is Littman. Well, we were told this was going to be a battle. Now, Joe, who does the color for us on the Nomads game, he will tell you I've been pretty good at forecasting games this year, and I thought this was going to be a high-scoring game, and I think it is. I think both these teams can be explosive. The Heat, well, we've heard a lot about them, and we know that the San Francisco Blackhawks are on the roll. Mark Evans now starts it off. Mark plays it back to his goalkeeper, and Mark Littman distributes way out to the side. Now, we saw the Seattle Storm play the Nomads, and the Storm had an attack where they pretty much walked the ball up the field for the first half. I don't think the Heat will do that. Now, they try to kick it through, but goal shirts converge on it. Oh, almost a steal there. You saw that number 12 stepping in. 12 is Jim Gabraza. And now Gregorian bombs another one over the net. And Mark Doherty has seen some high-flying soccer balls coming at him, but so far the only one that's found the net has been kicked by the Blackhawks. Blackhawks lead 1-0. And I guess that clock is not going to be any help to us as I look at the far end of the stadium. So maybe Joe can keep some kind of a running time for us if you can. Unofficial, of course, the official time being kept on the field. Up now comes John Doyle. Doyle over the center line, kicks it through. Scampering over his mark. And Littman again feeds it off. Mark Evans starts to play from his fullback position. And Jimmy makes the kick across the field. San Francisco giving them room to come out, Joe. Over the middle, but run onto again. Here come the Blackhawks. They cross it to the middle, looking for the center forward, Dave Palak. No dice that time. Heat takes it over. Nicely put out to the side. We're going to see a lot of nice deft passing here, Joe. And down it goes towards the touchline. And I just can't really see that line clearly, I'm sorry to tell you folks. Nice pass there by Steve. Boy, Koperning is having a big weekend for himself. Now it's fed off to Dale Irvine. The action has been so hot and heavy, I haven't had a chance to get Joe in to make a few comments. The ball's over the line now. Joe, a pretty good first 10 minutes.
I would think so. As I said, these two teams are battling for first place. Not only do these two teams have an interest in the game, but so do San Diego and Portland. San Francisco wants to keep ahead of Portland in the Northern Division standings, and Los Angeles wants to overtake the Nomads in the South.
Evans belts one. Now Jim Evans, my old sport, Mark Evans. Took a rifle shot there. Yeah, a lot of interest on the West Coast on this 4th of July weekend. Up and down the West Coast, all the way to the Pacific Northwest. San Francisco chasing the Portland Timbers, and the Heat chasing the Nomads. And a lot now riding on this game. I think the Nomads back in San Diego, we're going to be interested in the outcome of this game, Joe?
Well, I talked to Nomads owner Jerry Burwell last night. He says he hopes the Blackhawks win 1-0 because that way Los Angeles won't get any points and San Francisco will get as few as possible.
Because most points at the end of the season will have a home field advantage. Now Dan Pena, number 7. Feeds it off to the fullback. Again, San Francisco waiting. That time the pass is complete at the center line. And now here come the Heat. Can't get it by that Ford. He had a great night last night, George Pastor. And George into the middle. Looking down the middle for Steve again. Can't get it through that time. Sliding attempt at a tackle. Now the Heat on the roll. Good crowd here, by the way. Really enjoying this. 1-0 right now. Heat down the middle. And a shot just goes wide, and it's over the end line. It'll be a goal kick coming up for the Gold. San Francisco. I believe, now we have done 5 Nomad games this year, and I believe this is the biggest soccer crowd we have seen. There's a lot of good soccer interest here in the L.A. area. Joe Namath?
Especially in the...
Pardon me, Joe, a player down as I look back upfield, down on the turf, one of the Heat. Let us take a break and give George a little bit of a rest. We have played about 10 minutes, and the Blackhawks lead 1-0. Billy Thompson shaken up. You see him being tended to there. I don't know if he's going to be able to continue. If he is injured, that's going to be a tough break for the Heat, as they will have to use one of their 2 substitutes very early in the contest. He looks like he is really lame.
It's going to be more of a loss for the Heat. Their two best players probably, in fact, the 2 who are on the national team, are Thompson and Vanoli. David Vanoli, the goalie, is absent for national team service. He'll probably be in Los Angeles on the 9th against El Salvador. And we'll tell you a little more about that match later, but he's with the national team right now and is not playing.
Good work there. We've been told that they have strengthened San Francisco, their back line, just to take care of heading balls. In fact, last night, Jerry, as the Hawks now working up nicely, center forward. Look at that as they thread it through. I'll get back to that thought in a minute. Goalie way out. A shot is, high over the top. And at the moment, the Blackhawks are flying high. My goodness, they're going to have to get a shotgun to pull them down because they are flying. What in the world did the coach tell them at halftime last night? Last night they trailed 1-0 at halftime, and it looked as though their weekend was sunk, and suddenly they have come alive. 3 unanswered scores against the Nomads and a quick one today. And at the moment, they are running through and finding the open spots, Joe.
They've come through. As I mentioned, Los Angeles is without the service of their first-string goalie, David Vanoli, who's on the national team.
That's another foul, and down on the turf is Dave Palak.
Each of these 2 teams has 2 national team players, Vanoli and Thompson for the Heat. John Doyle is a member of the U.S. national team for San Francisco, and Townsend Kin of the Blackhawks used to be with the Chinese national team.
Now about 15 yards past the midline. Long one. Oh, they win that one, too. At the moment, the Gold Shirts are winning the ball. I started to say that they were looking to mark last night the star scorer, Jerry Watson of the Nomads. And Watson did get loose for 1 score early on. Nothing thereafter, and that back line is really coming into its own.
Well, the 2 players you have to watch for on the Heat, and I'm sure San Francisco will be watching, one of those is number 9, Jeff Hooker, who
just made that pass.
Just got tripped right now.
Oh, look at this.
The referee decided it. Hooker was on the 1984 Olympic team before they accepted professionals onto that team, and they dropped him. Hooker is a UCLA product. He played for the Nomads the first year when the Nomads were an amateur team.
Here's Jimmy making the kick now from the sideline. Puts a long curving shot. Oh, boy, a line drive right to Doherty in goal, and he played it like a center fielder. Looked like Vada Pinson out there waiting for a fly ball or a line drive.
Jeff Hooker is a product of Diamond Bar, California. Just a few miles to the east of here. Well, maybe about an hour to the east of here.
Long one all the way up to the field. Oh, goalie has to go up high for it and then tip it down. You know, I played a little bit of goal, Joe, and wouldn't that be terribly embarrassing to have one like that just go off your hands and go into the net? But Mark really got up there high and pulled it down.
And we've learned that the goal by Korpenang is a record. This is his 10th goal this season. The previous record was by Brent Goulet of Portland. He scored 9 goals in 1986.
And Steve has 3 in the last...
2 games.
Well, not even 2 games, Joe. In the last 1 hour of play, roughly.
Less than that. He scored his first goal in the 68th minute last night. So in about 30 minutes of play, he scored 3 goals.
Attempt to put one through there to Daryl Irvine. And it ends up in the hands of goaltender Doherty. And Doherty punts it well up the field again. Looks for his center forward. And Davey battling for the ball. Almost goes down. Battling a bigger man there, number 8, Mike Lapper. is a steal by the Hawks. Look at that beautiful pass. A back heel to Palak. That was sensational. And over the line it goes finally as Lapper has to play defense and kick it out.
Goals tonight is 10th of the season, breaks Brent Roulet's all-time WSL record, set 1986 for 9 goals in a season. We have a substitution coming on for the LA Heat, replacing number 3, Billy Thompson, number 10, John Gerard.
Now, Billy Thompson, you'll recall, was shaken up about 5 minutes ago, and I guess they felt he just could not go. So John Gerard, number 10, takes his place. 2 substitutions allowed, Joe, I believe, per team?
2 substitutions per team, and LA's used 1. Gerard, incidentally, is another former Nomad. He played with the Nomads in 1986 before going on to the Heat in 1987. If you're wondering why so many Los Angeles players, including Gerard and Hooker and Paul Caligiuri, also of UCLA, played with the Nomads in 1986, it was because at that time the league was a Pro-Am league. The Los Angeles Heat and the California Kickers were semi-pro.
Halleck down again now, but gets up quickly and makes the throw-in.
And the Nomads, due to budgetary reasons, decided to become an amateur team. NCAA eligibility prohibited anybody from playing with professional players on that team. And as a result, the college players, Hooker and Caligiuri, had to go down to San Diego to play in the Western Alliance and keep their NCAA eligibility.
San Francisco, meanwhile, controls the ball. Palak's shot blocked to the defense. Goes to the white shirts. Nobody over there to help out. And here turns up the Heat. Oh, good steal right on the midfield line and goes all the way out of touch. You know, I thought that perhaps San Francisco might be a little tired tonight. They played a tough side last night, but boy, they have come out smoking, Joe. Can they keep this up for a full 90 minutes, do you think, or will the Heat wear them down?
Well, I mentioned the sun factor earlier. I think that has been a big advantage. They really haven't dominated the way they did in San Diego in the second half. They just seem to be getting the breaks in this half.
Here's Dan Pena now. Moves it up over the center line. So far, the Heat have had trouble crossing that center. They've tried to kick it through, and it's been a converging and collapsing defense for the Blackhawks. Blackhawks are building their nest right on that midfield line, Joe. Now some room for the Hawks to move it up. Nicely headed, but not under control. Danny Pena has half the field to himself right now. Here he comes. Plays it to Evans. Evans at the half line. Kicks it well down into the corner. Nobody there but Blackhawks. And that Blackhawk back line just feeds it to the goalkeeper, and Doherty will have the unimpeded free kick. Let's talk a little bit about that back line that was so successful last night. Doyle and Semioli, and who were some of the others back there, Joe, that impressed you last night?
Well, John Doyle was a member of the University of San Francisco team. In fact, we talk about the Nomads connection. San Francisco has a connection. Doyle was a teammate of Mark Powell, who played goalie during the Nomads' first year for a game. Powell in 1986.
Bit of a slow whistle there, Joe. I was wondering if they were going to be called or if someone actually even touched the ball. Might that have been a play on, and then as the play developed, they decided not to play on?
That's probably what the case was. But thanks to Doyle and his defense, Mark Powell led the nation and having the lowest goals against average in NCAA Division I his senior year at the University of San Francisco.
You know, for our friends in the Bay Area, a play happened last night, which I wanted to comment on. Look at this, beautifully done, high, and it's going to fly wide. The third goal last night for the Nomads, for the Blackhawks, the Nomads were complaining of an offside on the play, and Joe and I had a chance to talk that play over. It seemed to us that indeed there was a man in the offside position, but as the ball was not played to him, the kicker kicked straight on into the net. That's why the goal was allowed. The Nomads were a bit upset, thinking the goal should not have been allowed. But Joe, as we are speaking once again to our friends in San Francisco, let's comment further on that third score last night.
Okay, the offsides rule is that there must be 2 defenders, one of whom may be the goalkeeper, between the furthest most offensive player and the goal.
Nice steal there by Pena.
There must be 2 players at the time of the pass. If the pass is made, then obviously the player can, to prevent the defensive players from just moving back and the offensive player automatically from being offsides. Then if the offensive player beats the defender during the pass or afterwards, he's not offside, he is onside, and that's what happened.
Well, actually, what happened then, I think, Joe, as Evans has it in the corner, I think in actuality, the winger was offside, but the ball wasn't played to him. He was in the offside position.
He went past the last defender other than the goalie, but the ball was not past him.
Not past him, indeed.
He must be in the play, considered to be in the play.
Right. And therefore, there was no offside, and the shooter shot straight ahead and put it right in.
Anton Nissel came out and he shot it over Nissel's head and it bounced and went into the net.
Hit the bottom of the crossbar, it looked like, and stayed in. Oh, boy. Thrilling second half last night for the Blackhawks, and they're out again. Let's see, unofficially, what would you guess, Joe? Between 15 and 20 minutes gone now?
Probably.
1-0 is the score. Oh, the San Francisco is called on that one, I believe. This L.A. Heat crowd is in the game, aren't they? And I must say this, much more so than the Nomad crowd last night, who was quiet. Long kick. Oh, headed away. I could see if that one had landed, it might have given Doherty trouble. He would have had to certainly just short hop it.
I think the Los Angeles Heat, being from a larger region, is able to attract more fans than the Nomads. For the same reason the Dodgers are able to attract more fans than the Padres, or that the Lakers were able to attract more fans than the Clippers when the Clippers were in San Diego. It's a matter of market.
Dale Irvine takes it from the corner. Now play back to the center line again. Nicely put forward. Here's Mark Evans. Evans puts it across. Oh, it was just too long. He tried to get it on the right foot and turn and shoot. And he might have had an open right corner, but just not able to pick up the shot. Still 1-0. Good contest. So far, this has been all we hoped it would be. And there's always a great rivalry, isn't there, between San Francisco and the L.A. area? Even though this is Torrance, this is certainly part of the great Southland, as they refer to it down here, the great Southern California area. And
the Los Angeles Heat, that's their official name. Sort of like the Los Angeles Rams playing Anaheim. Of course, the San Francisco Blackhawks are San Francisco Bay rather than City of San Francisco. They have
Cupertino in Dublin and all over Newark. Long one, put up the field for Davey, but it's just a little bit too long. Mark has the ball, feeds it back again to his fullback. It goes right back to the goalie, and now they're on their way. And Mark Evans.
Newark and San Ramon, they decided to expose more of the community to the Blackhawks, so they
Jimmy's kicked to center.
Alternated their home games. They have them on several different home fields this year.
Gregorian's a good one there at the center, isn't he, Joe? Number 14 in the red. We're going to look for him as play goes on. So far, San Francisco's defense is somewhat stymied L.A. And as L.A. gets their legs on them, oh, look at that. Look at that number 10 again. Davey try to break up the play. This time, L.A. puts it through. And Palak, look at the spin on that ball, Joe. My goodness, like trying to kick a whirling top. Almost a steal, but again, the back line takes over for the Blackhawks. Nice pass. Oh, a little shouldering there. That looked like a European play. And it's going to be called against number 7, Pena. And the ball will be given to Steve Coperning. And Steve, boy, Steve's a guy to reckon with. Now Greg Pastor will have the throw in. Trapped down nicely. Another tripping foul called. Pair of 12s there, Joe. Troy Dyack. And Jim. No, that's way offside, though. Not that time.
Well, he thought he could get away with it, and if he had, it might have been a great opportunity to score, but the referee caught that one.
You know, offsides are missed, as we both know, in football. Like a lot of fouls are missed in football. What would you say is the percentage of offsides missed in high-level soccer by the officials? 1 in 50? 1 in 30? Certainly there are some. We've seen quite a few. I
wouldn't estimate. Of course, then once the official makes the call, that's what happens.
So no offsides are missed in effect.
Officially, no offsides are missed.
Okay, that's a good way to look at it. What was it Bill Clem said in baseball, the great baseball umpire, ain't nothing till I call it. It's either a ball or a strike till I say what it is. That's nicely put forward down. That's George. And that one is over the line. So, 25 minutes or so gone. Time kept on the field. by the official. Long one. Goalie sprints out, and Mark pulls that one down. Distributes out to his right. Down come the Heat. And that one goes off the shoulder, I believe, of the midfielder for the Blackhawks. Well, so far, the Blackhawks have done a great job containing the Heat. No doubt about it. Blackhawks have kept these speedy LA guys from doing much beyond the center line. Who should we be looking forward to seeing operate? Hooker, I'm sure, being one for the Heat, wouldn't you think?
Hooker is one. Billy Thompson would have been the other one.
But they've lost him now, and that's a serious blow to the Heat. Oh, again, a little elbowing and a little holding, perhaps, in there. Danny Pena is a physical player, and he's going to punish Coperning for coming into the middle. Oh, here's Coperning coming through now. Here he comes. He comes in onside. He shoots. It's going towards the net, but it's going to go wide. Oh, my.
Well, it's blocked by Littman. It's going to be a corner kick.
That's a corner kick they will gladly give up.
Yeah. Littman put a hand on it. He made sure it didn't go into the net. He put his body out in front, positioned himself perfectly, took away the angle from Copernic. The result's a corner kick.
I didn't think anyone could stop Copernic the way he's been going in the last hour or so, huh? Is this Kinnear taking the kick? Let me get a look here as we look. It rolls through, and then it's kicked to safety again. And let's see, how did that go out? I did not reach the back line.
Now there's going to be a throw.
A throw, and almost as good for San Francisco. Look at that nice dish off there, right in front. 50-50 ball in the air. No one there but white shirts for the moment, but they can't control the head. And that's 50-50 again, and that time Blackhawks fly higher. But an offside was called. Comes the other way. Here's Jimmy coming down. Play on, says the official. Stolen, though. That's Kinnear again. Hey, Kinnear having a big game and tries to put it through. Another one.
Offside on that one.
More offside than onside, almost, as a matter of fact.
So I think that Palak was the only forward who wasn't offside in that one.
Boy, an exciting first half, Joe. These guys are really putting on a show. This is pro soccer here on the West Coast, and this is what's going to bring the World Cup to this country. Mark Evans has it. Mark kicks it into the box. A shot. Oh, Doherty right to the post to stop it.
We may actually see 2 World Cup qualifying matches in this county this year. In Torrance at El Camino College, the U.S. tied Trinidad and Tobago on May 13th in a home game. They were supposed to play a road game in San Salvador against El Salvador on the 9th, next Sunday. Because of riots in El Salvador, they decided to move the game to a neutral site. The El Salvadorians figured that there were more El Salvador fans in Los Angeles than in Mexico, so they requested that the game be held in Los Angeles, so it will probably be played in the Coliseum.
It's remarkable, isn't it? Yeah, Jimmy with the ball. His shot is blocked.
Well, the San Diego Sockers actually played a road game in San Diego Sports Arena in their first NASL indoor at that time title season.
Jimmy again puts it across. Boy, that back line is so impressive.
The Edmonton Sports Arena was booked for a cattle show, so Edmonton had to play its home game in San Diego. And that's how it happened.
That was a pretty good foray there by the Heat. Here's Pena. Moves it over center. Long kick to the right corner. Bouncing ball. Heat onto it. Their far right winger goes right to the post and right with him.
It was the matchup between Gerard and Dyack. Dyack maybe not getting the best of it, but doing his job of preventing a shot. Now they've got some more time to set up, and you see 10 gold jerseys in the deep area, one of whom just headed the ball out. Another of whom just cleared it onto the Los Angeles side of the field.
Well, he's got a lot of room to operate here, but he's going to throw it back to the goaltender, I believe. Well, maybe not. No, he turns it. Okay. Feeds it to Evans. Evans with a lot of room. Nobody between himself and the center line. He kicks it through, looking for his winger to come over. Headed back. Coperning starts it back up again. Coperning finds Palak. Nice job there. Mike Lapper puts it high in the air. Look at that as Coperning goes up again, and the ball's over the line. We'll take a break for a moment. San Francisco 1 and LA no score. All back in play, getting to the 30-minute mark. Here's Evans. Evans, there's Jimmy feeding it off. Mark coming right back down, puts it in towards the box, headed aside again. Flashing in to get it there was Jack. Jack Germain trying to get in there. Let's see what the call is. Did I catch that name right, by the way? That's Johnny Gerard, pardon me. I imagine. Number 10?
Number 10 is John Gerard. He's played this league for 4 years now.
And folks, we have to tell you, we are not, in all honesty, all that familiar with the Heat players yet. But I tell you, I'm enjoying watching them play. They are one of the Heat on right now.
One of the reasons that the Heat are so much improved is from a player who isn't here this year. A player coached last year by the name of Justin Fashanu, a British star who, in the United Kingdom, in the British League, had been sold for £1 million.
Irvine steps over the ball. He feeds Gregorian. Gregorian shoots at it. No good. Rebound. Oh, boy. We're seeing some nice, tricky maneuvers tonight, aren't we? Any one of those three shooters, dangerous. I just had a hunch they might do it that way, and the shot deflected away. Another one thrown at Doherty. That one's going to go over the end line. And the Heat now start to apply their famous name of the Heat, and they start to exert some pressure, trying to equalize the score. 1-0 for San Francisco. Coperning the goal scorer. And a goal kick coming up.
And after an injury, limited Fashanu's ability, his British team let him come over to the United States. He came to the Heat, played a year, coach, taught him a lot. The Heat just barely finished out of third place, which would have given them playoff berth last year. And this year they're in second place, and almost surely they'll be in the playoffs this year.
Looks like a very interesting playoff mix, because it looks as though, and I say this in all honesty, I'm employed to call what I see, the Nomads seem to be somewhat faltering. The Blackhawks seem to be coming on. The Heat pressing. Portland, always a strong outfit. A lot of good playoff possibilities. The Storm can't be counted out, last year's champion.
No, in fact, the Storm, Portland, and San Francisco went into this week with identical 7-3 records. They were separated by points.
Long shot. Oh, ball is free, loose for a moment. And it looked as though the Heat might have a chance. No score on that one. Here's Evans.
Well, there's the defense. The play was broken up by Dyack again. He's doing his job.
Yeah, Troy back there on the back line. Dyack and Doyle, my goodness. Semioli. Bailey last night, you know, just shown.
Well, Semioli's a Stanford product. In fact, he still plays on the Stanford team.
Evans again throws it into the corner. Oh, that one is, did it go out? It did, yeah. And John Gerard just not able to control that one.
Semioli and Red Hart, both Stanford personnel.
Now, you'll know Hart out there, by the way. Hart has the bandage on his hand. Number 19, Red Hardy.
And I don't know if it's still the case, but at least when I was looking at colleges, you need a 3.83 grade point average just to get into Stanford.
And so for the first time in a couple of minutes, San Francisco brings it back over the center line. The Heat have just started to reverse the trend a little bit, Joe. 35 minutes or so gone, would you guess? More than 30, certainly.
For about 35 minutes, maybe 10 minutes and a half. It won't be officially over until you hear those 3 whistles from the referee.
Littman makes the punt. Oh, a long line drive. Out-kicked the coverage almost. Well, not quite, though. He got it onto the head. And now here's the Heat coming down the middle. Again, they run into that gold wall. And the pass finds Pastor. Pastor, Jimmy after him now. There's George. Over to the middle, edge of the circle, kick downfield. And Pena scoots after it. Pena puts it up to Evans, and they'll walk it up, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, they come by 3 abreast. You just wondering what they're going to do with the ball. Everyone just kind of stopping and watching. They try to kick it to the middle. They work it through to Johnny. One of the few times San Francisco mishandled the ball, and the Heat come up with it now. See if they can get their attack coordinated. They trail by 1. Last minutes of the half, perhaps. Nicely done there. Out to the wing, and Evans Evans left foots it. Oh, dribbles it in nicely. Gets possession again. Puts it to the middle. That one does almost slide through. A shot. Good save. Oh, by another shot. Score! And the LA Heat tie it up, and the pressure they've been exerting in the last 12 minutes or so finally tells. Joe, almost a carbon copy of the goal San Francisco gave up last night.
Almost exactly. Wendell took the initial shot. It was blocked. Perfect follow-up by Mike Lapper, and the ball went in.
That's the only way they've been able to beat Doherty in the last 2 nights. Jerry Watson did exactly the same thing. A hard shot, a long rebound, and bang, 1-1. And now we have a ball game, folks. Opening. Oh, a steal. Heat on the roll again. Here's Irvine. 2 men on him. And a good defensive tackle puts the ball to safety for the moment. Mike Lapper, unassisted, scoring on his own rebound.
Looks like they're recovering from the loss of Billy Thompson. This is a team sport, and because of that, you need all 11 members to do well. But on the other hand, you lose one, you put somebody else in, and if you have the team chemistry, you can come right in and do just as good a job.
Oh, a sliding try to tackle there, just upends Dave Halleck. Yeah, Dave's been up and down like a yo-yo tonight. He's a tough little guy. Dave's the towhead out there, if George can give you a good look at him. Number 10 there, just trotting back up, and they knock him down, but he bounces right back up again. He's not the biggest center forward I've ever seen either.
These players are resilient out there.
How many is that now offside for San Francisco? 3 or 4 at least.
It's a statistic that the Blackhawks are going to have to keep an eye out for in the second half and in future games.
Here's Danny's kick. You wonder what makes a game turn around, Joe. Is it the little extra desire when you're behind, or how can a team dominate as last night the Nomads did for a whole half and then just get run out in the second half?
Well, sometimes the team runs out of steam. Sometimes the losing coach gives a win one for the Gipper speech.
And here comes Gregorian down the middle. Good steal. Oh my, nicely done. Gregorian after it again.
And then sometimes random chance just switches sides.
Was that Doyle that Gregorian was battling there? As I looked down, was that number 3? I have to tell you, folks, we're not operating with a monitor tonight, and that is something of a loss to us because the San Francisco numbers are what we call hollow numbers. They're a little hard to see. As Davey after the ball now. Oh, he wins it and gets it across, but doesn't quite reach the goal shirt cutting through. That was a good effort, though, by Dave, wasn't it? He actually won the ball and put it right where he wanted to.
Now I mentioned that the sun was a factor earlier. If you take a look out into the west side, the sun has gone down now. See some clouds. And Los Angeles no longer has the sun in their eyes. I think that might have helped them.
Now here's Johnny Doyle with the throw-in. I was telling Joe Namath last night in my old business of pro wrestling, used to be a famous wrestling promoter named Johnny Doyle. One letter removed from my name. My name starts with a B. I used to hear John Doyle an awful lot, and you're going to be hearing of this Johnny Doyle. Certainly an all-star in anybody's league, Joe.
Well, he is a member of the U.S. national team. He went to Seoul, I believe, and he might be going to Italy with the U.S. World Cup team.
Doherty's kick goes over the line this time and turns it over to the Heat. Half now running down. I really wish that with that beautiful clock at the end of the stadium they would put the 45 minutes up, but they're not, so we're guessing there's about 5 minutes left now in the half. 1-1 is the score. Boy, the Heat have turned on the heat here in the last 15 minutes or so. They're on the move again, and they cannot get it by. Good job back there on defense. First 30 minutes of this game were Blackhawks. Last 15 minutes have been the Heat. Doherty booms it up. looks to find Palak. Palak shovels it back. Oh, wow, forearm shiver there, huh? Evans really cracked them one. That was Evans and Kinnear who came together there. Going to have a card given on that one? We sure are. Yeah, Joe, you can throw a pretty good forearm smash, and it looks something like that.
Well, you've got to put a lot of effort into your foul to get a yellow card.
Now, this is just about the spot that San Francisco scored from. This time there's a different defensive formation, however.
Well, you see the 10, the 11, and the 17. It's a matter of which one of those three passes it to whom.
Pelican Pastor, they again, oh, look at that, the defender trying to slip in there, and his attempt at a tackle there indeed broke up the flow of the play. He didn't get to the ball, but the extra effort kept the goal shirts from getting the shot off. Nicely done.
Perfectly. The Heat defense guessed perfectly. They had a feeling what was up.
That time they were ready. They were fooled the first time. And a good boot there puts it out of play. So we have seen something there, Joe. That was, to me, most interesting. The Heat were not going to get burned twice, were they?
And well, there's a saying from Star Trek, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me.
Was that Captain Kirk who said that?
Scotty, wasn't it?
That was a good one. That was a nice play to watch. Over the line it goes and out. Hey, Jimmy number 12, if George can give you a shot of him. Jim number 12 for the Heat. He is a tough guy out there. He's up and down the field and doing a job. Throwing now by Dom. Heat wins that one. Rallies it high in the air right at the center line. Blackhawks put it down and the Heat kick it through. Nicely done. Getting ready to hear those three whistles pretty soon, Joe Namath. We're going to ask you for an analysis of the first half, but who you would pick as the stars in this 1-1 encounter. Booted upfield. Nice pass there, gets it over the center line. Koperning tries to run back and save the play. The Heat march on. Long one, headed high and over the line. Goal kick coming up for the Blackhawks. Joe and I were talking, no tie games in this league. The Blackhawks are going to have either a wonderful weekend or it's like kissing your sister, I guess. Like splitting a doubleheader in baseball. And we have an injury now. And so some time will be allotted for this. Let's take a break. 1-1 to go. Closing minutes of the first half of play here in Torrance. Anybody coming off there?
Yep, looks like they're...
Bless you. Bless you. Okay, everybody up and rolling once again. It's got to scoot through. Littman, oh, sliding stop there. Palak was there just in case he got a Christmas present, and the ball should fly loose. Think both teams will be content to get off with 1-1 at halftime, Joe?
I think so. I think the...
Pena starts it up the field, looks for his winger. Oh, as what we would call in tennis an unforced error. Of course, it's so easy to say that sitting here, isn't it, Joe? When the ball's coming over your shoulder and you're tiptoeing along the touchline.
You've got to think quick. I was mentioning the Heat would probably like to have the other side because at this point the wind is going east, and the Heat would have the wind advantage.
Lights now just starting to take some effect here. Here's Evans. Heat now getting much more penetration in the last 20 minutes of play. Try to fire that one up. Heat wins the ball at half. Gamara Crosses it. Jimmy again. This is 50-50 almost. You know, again, when I was taught soccer, I was taught you wanted to have guys running through that area just to try to pick up balls like that. Oh, here comes one the other way now. Good race for the ball. Not much of a shot. Blackhawks want a foul on that one, but no dice. Back it comes the other way. Here's Jimmy, and he's stripped of the ball as Doyle steps in and stops the play. Back the other way comes Kinnear. Kinnear looks for Pastor. Here's George moving it right in. Beautiful pass, wide open for the center forward to come into it. And Davey just could not get onto the ball quickly enough. End-to-end play. Back the other way. Here's Gregorian roaring down the middle. Puts it to Jimmy on the far sideline. Gabara turns, shoots. And it's over the top of the net. And boy, Joe, we saw some wonderful play there on both sides right at the end of the first half.
Well, it was passed perfectly to Gerard. Unfortunately, it wasn't one of those plays that Gerard could easily convert it. He had to slide, just barely missed it.
Now you can see fans of both sides there holding their breath as first the Blackhawks attacked, and then the Heat came up with a good counterattack. Just for the moment, either side had visions of taking a 2-1 lead to the locker room. But it's still even Steven at one apiece. Goal kick coming up now. And there is halftime. Well, a well-earned standoff at halftime, I would say. 1-1 the score. It's been a good one. Almost a great one, Joe. And we said it last night. We'll say it again. There is a possibility that this game could be a forerunner of a championship game. Things would work out right for both squads. Give us your analysis of the first half.
I think that it was an evenly played game. I can't say that either team dominated. I think that the defense of Mark Semioli helped to keep the Blackhawks in the game, to counter the offense of Jim Gabara. I also feel that the Heat finally caught on to Steve Kopernik. I feel he was one of the most potent offensive forces, and he was something that he knew they had to contend with, and I think they've done a successful job with it the first half. They allowed that one goal, but that was all they gave up. And that was early. They learned their lesson quick.
So Joe will be writing this up for Soccer San Diego Magazine. We'll talk more about that fine magazine during the second half of play. We played 45 minutes. It's 1-1, and we'll be back with the second half of play. And who knows, Joe, maybe some overtime, maybe even some shootouts before the night is over. It's 1-1 at halftime. Second half of play. Heat 1, Blackhawks 1. Heat in the white shirts moving to the right. Mittman taking on Doherty in the goal. It was a scintillating first half of play, and we're looking forward to an even better second half.
We go to start the second half. The score tied at 1. There are no substitutions. Good ball, like win.
Look for Brian Wendell now operating on this near wing, number 15 for the Heat. Well, to our friends in San Francisco, I want to remind you that the next game for San Francisco is July 8th against the Arizona Condors. That will be played at Maloney Field in Stanford University. And Joe, have you ever visited the farm?
Must admit, I never have.
Beautiful place down in Palo Alto, and boy, it should be a great place for soccer, and that one flies high and wide. We're underway in the first minute and a half. Anybody's contest. 1-1 the score. Kopernik the goal scorer for San Francisco. Early on, goal coming in the first 5 minutes or thereabout. Answered in the last 7 or 8 by the Heat.
An official time of 4:12 for that first goal. 4 minutes and 12 seconds for that first goal was the official time.
I believe someone just set a Western League record in the last couple of weeks by scoring a goal in the first 29 seconds of play. Oh, that was almost spectacular. Wendell comes up with the ball now. Here come the Heat. Down the middle. Davey Pollock just got a foot on that one, and that's a high shot. No dice on that one. It'll be interesting to see now if we end up with firehouse soccer as we had at the end of the first half, Joe, with the teams flying up and down, or if the teams will go into their shell and just play for one winning goal. What do you think?
I think both teams have to play for the points now. San Francisco is 4 points behind Portland. They want to get the full 9. Los Angeles is 2 points behind San Diego. They want to get the full 9.
Boy, this is an important game. What a way to spend your July 4th holidays, folks. And as I say, don't forget, July 8th in San Francisco. Come on out to Stanford Stadium. Yeah, site of the Super Bowl. My goodness.
Well, not only is July 4th, John, but if you're an immigrant from Canada, it's also Canada Day weekend.
A little something for everybody here. Now, Hooker was quiet in the first half. We'll see if he can get something rolling. Is that Irvine as he throws it out to the side?
Corner, Heat.
Okay, you saw number 5 flashing out there for the Heat, and that's Eric Beefield. And thanks so much there to the Heat Public Relations Office for filling that one in for us. And Joe found out an interesting little bit of information about Skoras. Joe, why don't you tell us?
Yeah, Costa Skoras is the brother of Peter Skoras, a former NASL star.
There's Beefield.
A burgeoning star whose career was cut short by injury. Peter is currently in Greece. He will be coming back shortly to be playing with Los Angeles.
And the Heat puts it up to Eric. Play is called again. Eric tangled up there with Timmy Martin, number 18. And the Heat about 15 yards past midfield. Let's see if they'll boom it. Put it high, and there's the goalie. Doherty just scoops that one up out of the air and controls it nicely. Looks so easy till you try to do it, folks. That soccer ball can sting. Doherty boots it down the field. Gets a long kick out. Oh, a good trap. Blackhawks.
They learned their lesson. They put 2 white shirts on Koperning this time. Koperning's not going to get away so easy for the rest of the game.
Now, his reputation has preceded him, hasn't it? Just as Watson's had last night, as a matter of fact. Amazing how these games have been somewhat alike. Now, last night, it was San Francisco down 1-0, and they came back and won 3-1. This time, it was the Heat down 1-0. They did get the equalizer before halftime, however. Hangs it high, 50-50 ball. Oh, boy, look at that heading job. Again, 50-50 on the midline. And a third time, and that one falls untouched, finally. Untouched by, can't say by human hands, by human body, by human foot. Lots of room to distribute that one. Here comes Evans. Long kick. Oh, flies past everybody and creates an offside. Joe, did I see that right? I was following the course of the ball. I wasn't looking where the players were. Did that actually end up being an offside pass? Or was it a foul where the ball landed?
They're calling it a foul.
Okay. Now Gregorian, he's dangerous. Long one. Doyle saves the first one, and the second one is high. A beautiful extra point in football, but no dice in soccer. And that Gregorian's a gamer, isn't he? Number 14.
He's an excellent player, veteran of this team.
Doherty, the goaltender, 6'2", 180 pounds, 21 years old, a senior at Fresno State. We talked to him after the game yesterday. And he set a school record for shutouts with 26. Went to Monte Vista High School in Cupertino and Santa Teresa High. Well, that's a beautiful area up in Northern California. Spent a lot of time up there when I used to wrestle, and I really loved it. Gerard That shot is high, floating, and harmlessly over the net. Not able to quite get the foot into that one the way he wanted to, Joe.
Well, they're coming right back. I think both teams realize they've got to put the ball in the net quick.
Down goes Pollock again. Boy, Davidson on the deck more often than Macho Man Randy Savage, George.
The momentum could swing either way right now.
Nobody's getting anything going right yet.
So both teams realize that the next goal is going to give whichever team scores the big momentum. Or in the case of a Blackhawks goal, take the momentum away from the Heat. Both teams want the goal. They can't let down. They can't let a missed goal.
There's Dale running almost free and gets a shoulder finally. And they rule. He caught him from behind.
Brought down. Is he going to be inside the penalty box?
Boy, it was right at the edge of it if it wasn't.
Depends what they're ruling. If they rule a direct kick, it's a penalty kick.
Seems not, though. Seems not.
Penalty kick.
But that foul turns it over in good stead to Dale. And you see Dale there and Mark over the wall. Let's see who's going to take it. There's the golden wall set up.
Irvin, by the way, has major indoor soccer league experience. He's played, I believe, with Wichita.
It's a direct kick, of course, but not a penalty kick. But he's in close. Boy, Doherty's going to have to guard that post. You have guys able to cut through on him as well. Here's a turning point in the game. Can the Blackhawks dodge the Hunter's bullet? Tips it to Evans. Evans' shot is wide, and the play is muffed this time, Joe.
I wouldn't say muffed. You want to try to get it past those packs of gold shirts? He didn't have a very good angle to work with.
1-1 the score. Well, the heat-seeking missile didn't do it that time, and the Blackhawks fly away, still tied 1-1. Goal kick coming up now. Little by little, though, the momentum in this game has changed. Blackhawks with a long one. And then Pollock high again, down again. Ran into two big white shirts that time. Boy, Dave's going to come out of this weekend bumped and bruised, and this that one almost took his ear off.
Well, they've got a few days to rest. The next game for both of these teams is the 8th of July.
Oh, a little pushing there. Look at this now. They've been going at each other, and is that going to be a card on Dave? Let's see, or just a warning, perhaps. What do you think? Did he take names? I think that was just a friendly warning.
Just a friendly warning. Still playing rather intensely.
Alec moves it over to the sidelines. Throw in, running for the ball. Blackhawks over the line, right at the flag.
Looks like that was kicked out by the defender, so it's going to be a corner.
And the scoreboard clock is running.
Not quite.
No, there are numbers up there right now. What do the numbers mean anything now? It's something else again.
5. It's the same numbers that were up in the first half. Of course, only the referee knows the official time anyway.
Corner right in front. Oh, look at that. It looked like that might have the angle rolling for the post. No dice.
Anyway, getting back to the two teams' next games. The Blackhawks host Arizona on the 8th at Stanford. The Heat play at Seattle on the 8th.
And I'll tell you, the Seattle Storm, no slouches by any means. Last year's champion has another foul. Let's see, was it a foul? Indeed it was. We saw Johnny Girard going for it there.
What about Gregorian?
Boy, this Danny Pena's a tough guy. Lucky number 7 out there, huh? Nothing lucky about the hard work he puts in. Now here come the Blackhawks. Down the right sideline. Running towards the net. Nicely played up to Pollock, and Pollock just can't get it, but it comes to the man cutting through, and his shot is saved by Lippman. Oh, nicely done. As they work that one through very nicely. Heat immediately counterattack, and down now, right on the midfield line. A foul called against Los Angeles for tripping, I would believe. San Francisco will have the ball. Well, let's see. About 20 yards short of the midfield line, perhaps. Well, let me change that. Heat will have the ball. Long one. Good defensive play there. Now there's room. Thought Pollock was going to take that one, but it somehow skipped through. Pressure there. That was beautifully done as the Heat dribbled it up the field and got it by 2 and keep possession. Now they have a lot of room to operate on the near wing. Give and go, nicely done. And he's dumped coming through as Brian Wendell tried to send in the goal scorer, Lapper.
Well, Lapper's not going to take it. They're going to give it to Pena.
Pena's kick rolls wide.
That was a quick restart. Los Angeles wanted to take the ball while it still had momentum. It wasn't wide, it was deflected. It's going to be a corner kick. It's going to be taken by Mike Gregorian, Cal State LA player. Plays under Leo Cuellar, former player of the St.
Good goal! Gregorian's hard boomer is just flagged down. Evans tries to cross it again. Again, look at that sterling defense there as the goal shirt comes up and heads it out of danger. High, just misses. Oh!
And that's Jeff Hooker. Jeff Hooker is the leading scorer in the Western Alliance right now, or was coming into this weekend. He has more assists than Coperning. Hooker is in his 4th year with the Alliance. As I mentioned earlier, he was slated for the 1984 Olympic team. He went to UCLA, played Diamond Bar High. Probably one of the better players. He'd have some players, however, that have played in the Major Indoor Soccer League. We've mentioned Dale Irvin with Wichita. Mark Evans was also with the Wichita Wings, and Jim Grabara was with the Los Angeles Lasers earlier this year.
Well, that was a close call there for San Francisco as Hooker almost steered that one in with the head by Doherty. Heat are turning up the heat. Here's Dale. Cannot get it through. And number 3, Johnny Doyle, keeps that one away from the nest. 1-1 the score. Back come the Heat again. With a tightly packed back wall. Now, the only time I've seen anyone penetrate that, as I say, have been on rebounds when the Blackhawks have been spread out in something like disarray. When the play comes straight up the field, Blackhawks' back line is just sensational.
I think both defenses have been excellent. They've countered some very strong attacks. They've made things look easy for the goalies.
Pollock up, cannot control that one. Brian Wendell sends it down. Nobody there. I don't quite know what he had in mind there. I think he was just trying to roll it towards the net and hope someone would be cutting through, but no dice that time for the Blackhawks. Here's Whitman. Now, it's still pretty early on in the second half, but it's starting to look like now both teams are waiting for that one big moment, Joe. That's going to roll again. Lippman scoops it up. This time his punt is somewhat short. 50-50 ball. Oh, my goodness. Ouch. Johnny Gerard went high for that one.
He went high, but he went straight up, so they ruled it against the Blackhawks.
Nice little pass there. Look at that. Clever move. Long kick. Good save. That was not as easy as it looked, folks. That one was hugging the ground or coming close. Doherty equal to the task on that one. 1-1 the score. We played inside 15 minutes here in the second half. Very little to choose now between these two folks, but the momentum, I would still say, is for the Heat at the moment. Let's see if one of those strikers for San Francisco can tear loose as they did last night. Again, you have to wonder, are they getting tired? Second consecutive night of play against top opponents. There's Pena now circling with it. Danny kicks it up over center. I tell you, the Blackhawks have been winning that ball at center most of the night. Nicely done there by Martin. And over the line. Yeah, we don't mention Timmy Martin's name that often, Joe, but he's done a good job out there. Number 18 in the goal. Chance now. This is Jim. Nah, no dice there. Still one again. Here come the Hawks. They keep control. That was very well done. Put it out to the wing. Slips by the defender. Red shirts make the play that time.
Now Lapper placed himself beautifully. He headed it away. He got it out of there. And it's a corner kick, but that's better than an uncontrolled shot on goal. Lapper knew exactly where to position himself. He headed it beautifully. Might not got in the direction he wanted, but...
The winger there beat Beeford coming down the side, but Lapper put the stop to the play. Now a corner kick.
Hooker up front. The other 9 are all back there now.
Kinnear kicks it. Heavy traffic, and Mark has the ball. So Littman somehow manages to, like plucking an egg out of a nest among all the swirling feet, pulls it out to safety for the moment for the Heat. Oh, look at that. Oh. Now, was he put in an offside position there almost accidentally, Joe, as the ball deflected back?
It looked like it. It looked like he had never quite gotten back onside when the ball deflected off Coperning.
And that constitutes the ball being played to him in the offside position, so it's an offside, even though it was entirely accidental in that case.
Exactly. He was in the play. And he was beyond the last defender when the ball was passed.
Stevie tried to get in there and steal for the Blackhawks, but no dice. Whitman. Now Evans. Let's see if San Francisco is not going to give them as much room to bring it up as they have been, perhaps. Nice long pass. Boy, almost a length of the field to Dale. Look at that as he dribbles by one, and then is he tripped? Apparently so. I really couldn't tell if he was tripped there or if he fell dribbling, but the official rules it. Possession for the White Shirts. I want to thank Joe Namath tonight, by the way, for Soccer San Diego magazine, doing the second half standing up, and I know that's very difficult. We have a rather cramped booth tonight. And with the monitor, put across and punched aside by Doherty. Oh, nicely done. That was very nice. Joe, you're doing as much work today as the goalkeeper, and we thank you for it. When we get a moment, I want you to talk about your Soccer San Diego magazine and all the fine columns you write. Because I understand there's an edition up here for Southern California. People will have to expand one of these days up to Northern California as well. Good sliding stop there, puts it over the line. So, Joe, tell us about Soccer San Diego.
Well, Soccer San Diego is one of 3 magazines in a chain. The other 2 are Soccer Orange County and Soccer Los Angeles. For those of you who are in Los Angeles, who might read Soccer Los Angeles, who might not read Soccer Los Angeles, we cover all levels from the youth to the pros in the World Cup qualifying. We cover the Western Soccer Alliance. We cover the colleges, the high schools, the adult amateur leagues. We cover the legends who are a San Diego barnstorming team.
Down there went John Gerard.
And if you read Soccer Los Angeles, you'll see some excellent coverage on the Los Angeles Heat by Philip Brents, who is another of our writers. Philip has done an excellent job. He joined Soccer San Diego.
Gregorio puts it in front, and that time, Joe, the Heat did have somebody running through, and he almost headed it in. That was a beautifully executed play, and it just missed fire. Could you see who that was coming down the middle? Maybe George is giving you a look at him right now. Boy, that was nicely done. Number 9, almost in the right place at the right side. That was Hooker. Now, we used to have a fair hooker who was, I don't know if you remember him, he was the speedy in for the Cleveland Browns years ago. Don Meredith, Dandy Don used to love his name, and boy, Jeff Hooker almost hooked that one into the net. The Heat are playing now with a great deal more confidence, it seems to me, than they were at the start of this game. Sliding stop there and another foul.
I think that goal put him back into the game.
Now, Wendell is down. That tackle did not look all that destructive to me, but they're going to call for help. So let us take a break and give Georgia a rest. It is a 1-1 standoff right now, and we'll come back for this shootout. It may be a shootout, and it's going to be gangbusters here in Torrance, California, as we are seeing a battle that can affect first place in both northern and southern divisions of the Western Soccer League. Heat put it in play. Pass to the end line. Tries to turn, and it's out and off the back fence. Well, let me tell you folks something. Win or lose, as far as San Francisco is concerned, they have put in a great weekend of play. Mark and Alan and Johnny, Nacio, Dominic, Townsend, Davey, Stevie, Troy, Scott, Peter, George, Tim, Rhett, goalkeeper. They dedicated this weekend to coming down and getting as many points as they can and getting into first place. Now, they may not do it. This is anybody's game, and I'm saying it now rather than waiting for the game to end. But they have given it a fine effort, in my opinion. Again, I wonder if there might be a tiredness factor coming into play here. You know, we'll see. And down, another Heat player hurt. And we're going to have, well, the official is motioning. Is this going to be a card? It is indeed a yellow card. So Troy Dyack is called to caution. Joe, how do you think that affects a player out there in a game like this? You've been warned once now, and does it make you a little bit more timid on defense?
It probably does. I think you can't be overly aggressive now. They usually don't give out cards for just play in the spirit of the game. And on the other hand, he's not going to go out of his way to make any big defensive moves.
Troy Dyack, 5'10", 165, an 18-year-old. Mike, imagine how well he plays for an 18-year-old. A parade All-American at Livermore High, and a member of the U.S. Under-20 national team. Dyack. Oh, Gabara pounding away there. Well, Troy was also a star receiver on the Livermore football team. And he is aggressive out there. You know, I understand that under-20 team indeed played the Blackhawks, and the Blackhawks gave a good game. I think they lost 2-1. So Troy has seen both sides of that, I would imagine.
Yeah, well, at least that way you know the opposition.
Fans here just waiting to erupt if their Heat can get the score. Boy, ball has a mind of its own there for a moment as it bounces twice. Right up the line again. These guys are just giving it their all. I love seeing those backliners come up and try to break up the play. Here's Hooker again. He's so dangerous. Gets it out to the winger. Ball is free in front for a moment, and that time it's kicked back to the goaltender by the goaltending defense. Oh. Remember a couple of years ago in the NHL when a Stanley Cup was decided by a defenseman putting one past his own goaltender, Joe?
It was the semifinal game. No, it was a division final game, wasn't it?
Indeed, and that might have happened there.
Calgary.
Might have happened there. That both those teams. Now Edmonton perhaps on the decline with the loss of Gretzky, and the LA area has benefited from it. Tries to find that winger again. Is Quinn dribbling by one, moving right in, shoots. Oh! Good save. Littman had it. I don't think Quinn had quite the velocity on that shot he wanted because it was ticketed for the low left side, and it looked like it was open, Joe.
Well, Townsend definitely wanted to put it in, but this is what I was talking about earlier, about the importance of the backup.
Back it comes the other way again. Sterling defense stops the Heat as they try to break it out. Continue, Joe.
If there had been some more yellow jerseys, gold jerseys up there to get the rebound, there might have been another goal in this game. But as it was, it did go out far enough for either Kin or anyone else to take the rebound, and Littman was able to pounce on it.
So it's Townsend and Steve and Dave Palick up there on the front line, but the ball goes the other way now, and it's chased into the corner and over the line. That's a pretty formidable bunch of strikers, Joe, in the gold shirts.
Well, we've talked
I see a substitution ready to come in here. I see number 15, Peter Woodring, entering the game, I believe. Let's see who's going to replace.
He's replacing Townsend Kin.
Now, was Kin injured on that foray down the field?
I don't know if he was injured or maybe the coach saw something that indicated that Kin was tiring.
That one goes by Palick. "25 minutes or so deep into the second half now, 1-1 the score. Now the Blackhawks, who came out flying, scored that first goal in 4.5 minutes now. They've been blanked for a good many minutes. And the question is now, has the Heat turned them off? As I recall from seeing the Nomads, is it 2 10-minute possible overtimes before shootout time?
Right, 2 10-minute non-sudden death overtimes and then a shootout.
I have to admit, I would love to see the Blackhawks in a shootout with their scorers. Sure, Terry Fisher, though, and the guys down from San Francisco don't want to see a shootout. They want to see them take it in overtime or take it before any kind of overtime and get the full limit of points.
If you're from San Diego or from Portland, you
don't want to see overtime either. The old song, there's Irvine battling for the ball. The minutes are starting to dwindle down now to a precious few, and this looks like it is going to be a one-goal game. Wendell puts it across, and it's a bouncing ball. Davey, though, with that nice distribution. I love to see someone just make that little touch and not just stop the ball and try to do something with it, but find somebody on the run. That is so beautiful. So effective when it's done, to get your winger out there on the fly and send them down. Well, the two goalkeepers, Doherty and Lippman, engaged in a real battle here. Now, Doherty is the regular goalkeeper. Lippman, Joe, you were telling me Lippman is the backup. Normally, he's playing a good game here for his team.
Well, one of the Los Angeles Heat goalkeepers is David Vanoli, who is good enough to make it onto the U.S. national team. He has played 3 of the 4 World Cup qualifying games for the U.S. His backup is Jeff Duback, who at this point is...
Through the middle! He shoots! It's going towards the net! He scores! The Heat lead 2-1! And that goal just comes so unexpectedly. In soccer, as I've said last night, sometimes it's so hard to score, and once in a while they make it look so easy. As the play broke open right down the middle.
Well, Gerard just had nobody but the goaltender. All he had to do was put it past the goaltender, and it was going in. And Gerard kicked it into a place where Doherty couldn't get it, and she was going to go between the 2 crossbars.
And I'm sure Mark Doherty felt like he had Mammoth Cave behind him at that moment, as suddenly the striker was set in full on, one-on-one with the goaltender. And the goaltender has, 8 feet of net behind him, and you just can't guard it all. Oh, my, 2-1, and the Heat have indeed made a startling comeback. Boy, now it's a test for the Blackhawks. But the Heat have been on the attack now for the last 30 minutes or thereabout, after the San Francisco boys own the first 30. Here's Dale, and that's a good defensive play, putting it over the line.
For the LA Heat, goal number 2 in the evening assist, Jimmy Guevara. Goal number 10, John Gerard.
John Gerard, right from the center of the field.
Well, as said, it was Jim Guevara who passed it to Gerard. he found the open man.
Run by Wendell.
Smart play on Gabar's part.
Now the Blackhawks, down from the Bay Area, have to show their mettle now, or the weekend may be a wash. Is that another card I see being handed out there?
Bit of activity in the box.
Just a few warnings.
Throw-in coming up for the Heat.
Heat with the long throw in. Whistle sounds as the ball bounces free, and that is going to turn it right back over again to the gold shirts.
Called a foul against the Heat. So it's going to be a free kick.
They lose that scoring opportunity. And as good as Davey is, by the way, in the center, the bigger man now is trying to outjump him, Joe. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Maybe he's just giving it his all out there, but the bigger guys out there are starting to win the ball. Now, look at this, running through. Oh, beautiful. Inadvertent trip. Nope. Foul called. He was on a roll there. Mike Gregorian.
Well, Gregorian did a good job in keeping Hart from advancing any further, but the referee thought he was a little too aggressive there.
Quite frankly, the role that the Blackhawk player was on, he may have done just the very best thing there to pull him down, quite frankly.
I really can't blame Gregorian for doing what he did.
Long one towards the box, chance. First time in a long time, Blackhawks have had it down there. And John Gerard kicks it back up to safety once again. Oh, look at this. Look at this individual battle going on now as Doherty comes way up the field. Doherty and Dale.
Irvin was most definitely offsides. Irvin is also a veteran of the Western Soccer Alliance.
Chance now. This guy can kick it. He goes through one. He cannot get it through the second. Well, he scored a beauty last night. And Pastor might have set them up there. Well, on a misplay then, puts it back out the center. It looked as though the Blackhawks were going to be able to control that one, even after Pastor was not able to work it any farther. They still moving in, and Lippman scoops it up. 2-1 for the LA Heat. Good contest. High kick. Boy, right up the field, right to the goalkeeper. And he distributes it out. Fullback play. Here we come. Boy, the Heat have really come back in this game, and they've been dazzling. There's Hardy. Brett at the center line. Puts it through nicely. On the attack. Rolls the Hawks. He shoots. Juggled. Free ball. Man coming to the net. Shot. And everything going right last night for the Blackhawks converts into things going right tonight for the Heat, and it's still 2-1. Lippman was handcuffed, but it wasn't to be on that surge by San Francisco. Oh, boy.
Once again, if Pastor got there maybe a little quicker, been on the play, after Kinnear's shot was blocked, he might have been able to put him in. He did get there, but really didn't get enough of a head start on the ball to get it past the goalie.
Boy, for a minute, time stood still there for both sides. As it was there for the plucking. Another infraction now called against the Hawks.
Free kick coming up for the Heat, Gregorian.
Gregorian. Will he in-swing it? Now he outswings it. And that scoring chance goes a glimmering. Joe, what would you estimate as time? Have we played 30 minutes yet?
Yeah, I'd say we have about 12 minutes left to play in the game.
Well, can the Blackhawks salvage this game now? A 1-0 lead before 5 minutes, but they've been kept off the scoreboard since then. Lippman's good goal scoring. Good goaltending, pardon me.
Vehicles out and the fireworks people don't want us on the track for that matter. So once the game's over, please stay in the stands. Thank you.
And the ball is over the line. Well, so far it's going to be bad news for San Diego. If the Heat can take this one.
Good news for Portland, but bad news for San Diego. Good news for Los Angeles, and bad news for San Francisco. And especially bad news for Arizona. Arizona is the outside shot for one of the second-place berths. The second-place berth in the Southern Division, to be exact. And they're almost...
Yes, Hardy starting it off again. But it goes over the line, and that turns it over to the Heat. Joe, I'm sorry I cut you off there.
In fact, with this goal, their second goal, the Heat have tied San Diego with 70 points, so even if they lose tonight, they will still be tied with the Nomads for first place with 70 points.
Look at that nice volley, but it's over the line as you can't control it. Let's see what Dominic can do as he throws it in.
One of these teams will...
Hardy along the sideline, sliding try by Wendell. And it's very effective. It causes the turnover.
Since San Diego and Los Angeles will play each other later in the year, one of those teams will get at least 4 points, and the other two, which would just about put the playoff berth out of reach of Arizona. I think Arizona was hoping that Los Angeles was shut out tonight. Unfortunately, I think the season may be a lame duck one for the Condors. Not a very disgraceful one for a rookie team such as Arizona, but they're going to have
Talking about rookie teams, Joe, here is the Blackhawks, one of the new teams in the league, as well as the Senators and Real Santa Barbara. And the Blackhawks here are fighting it out, for first place.
Well, in fact, they're the only rookie team in contention this year. Maybe one of the reasons is that they're sort of a replacement team. Many of their players played for the San Jose Earthquakes, which played in the league last year, but have since vanished to the Hall of Oblivion. And Pastor, for example, was on the Earthquakes last year. He's a Western Alliance veteran. He knows the league. He knows the teams. He knows some of the other players. He's a little more familiar with some of the other teams than some of the other expansion players.
John Doyle is called for the infraction.
The World Cup qualifying match next Sunday at the LA Coliseum, a game originally scheduled in El Salvador. Critical match for the United States national team. Check your newspapers and TV this week. Projected kickoff is 4 o'clock next Sunday at the LA Memorial Coliseum.
USA and El Salvador. It's going to be a battle.
4 o'clock kickoff. I hope the Nomads will reschedule their game till later in the night. It's going to be tough to make both of them.
Well, I know I have to make one of them because we're doing that Nomad game. So.
Put it out by Bill. Gerard. The hooker.
And Heat on the march again. Is he pulled down? And now time is ticking away exonerably for the Blackhawks.
And if you'll be doing the Blackhawks game on the 8th against Arizona, you might be driving down to San Diego Sunday morning to do the Nomads game.
Flying down to San Diego Sunday morning, I would hope. We very much enjoyed meeting the folks down from the San Francisco Bay Area. And their team, I think, has performed exceedingly credibly over this weekend. Coach Dean said they were out for points. Well, they got the full complement last night. They're going to pick up at least one tonight. They're one goal away from getting more. But Littman and his white-shirted chums here have showed their mettle. You know, when you're scored on in the first 5 minutes. Oh, look at that! Was that a post?
It looked like Copernic found a defender.
Rolling free again. He shoots and he makes the save. And Littman scoots over and stops it. Oh, and it looked like the Blackhawks had the second one on the board, Joe, did it not?
Well, Pastor shot it well, but the goalie positioned himself perfectly.
You saw Mark scampering over, looking like Ozzie Smith going for a ground ball, and he somehow got there. And again, for a moment, time stood still. Oh.
And Los Angeles was able to buy time on that one.
And in these fleeting last moments of play, and Lippman has it again, in these fleeting last minutes of play, the Blackhawks now exerting pressure and going for the tying score. So much so, no, and there's a foul. And now Peter Woodring, who entered the game due to Townsend's coming out. Oh boy, and he gets a yellow card. How many yellow cards have we had now in this game?
I think this is the fourth.
Yellow card is usually awarded to Peter Woodring, precinct 8.
I think this is the third that's been awarded to the Heat or against San Francisco.
Joe, you've heard me say it before. The referee seems to have an unlimited supply. Oh my, this has turned into a battle.
Players don't. They get that second yellow card. They're out for the remainder of the game, and the team has to play one man short.
Mike Gregorian now lines it up. Boy, what a contest. 2-1 the score for the Heat. And another infraction. It's going to go the other way. Blackhawks now need an all-out effort, and if the Heat ever wanted to stop a foray, boy, now's the time. Here's Doherty, punting it way down. They've been looking for number 10. That one clears everybody's head. It almost goes on a hop to Davey. Crosses it. Oh, a nice defensive play there. Kinnear's played a good game for his side, really, number 8. Now Hardy. Hardy and Gerard. Hardy with a nice penetrating kick, puts it through. Sweeper stops it. Dale Irvine. Wendell boots it right back up again. It's almost like icing the puck in hockey on that one. Just get it out, get it up the field. Take care of another 30 seconds if possible. Doherty scoops it up and punts it down again. Again, we'll look to see if Davey can do anything. It might bounce to him. It's headed to him. Oh, no good, though, as the whistle stops play.
No, they passed it up to Doyle. And Doyle, being one of the taller players on the team, is now playing up front, trying to get that extra head in. Extra head of height, that is. Trying to head it down to one of his teammates. And he was a little too aggressive on that one.
You know, I've really enjoyed seeing Dave Pollock play. As I say, he's been up and down like a yo-yo these last 2 nights. I'll bet he's been knocked down 15 times, would you say, in 2 nights? Hard. And still back up there and running with legs that are still fresh, and he's not the biggest guy on the pitch by any means. In fact, he's one of the littlest ones.
Alec is a member of the Santa Clara team, which was not that bad in the Western Division, or the Western region of the NCAA last year.
Did I say he's 5'10", 160? He doesn't look it. He scored 4 goals in the Hawks' first 6 games.
We'd like to thank some publicists, by the way, for this information. Matt Schwab from the San Francisco Bay Blackhawks, Jill Francisca from the Los Angeles Heat, and Don Rosolo, the Western Soccer Alliance publicist, or the Western Soccer League publicist. He's been with the league ever since it was the Western Soccer Alliance.
These players may not be household words yet, like Magic or, like Wayne Gretzky. Give them time. Give the league time. Took baseball from 1876 to the future, to the present. And now I'd say we're inside 5 minutes, Joe. Wouldn't you guess? Boy, I wish they would give us the official time in soccer. I see the clock running now, and it says 2:35. And I don't know if that's right or not. But I kind of suspect it might be.
It's just a rough guess. The official knows the real time.
Better than the 3:45 that's been up there all night, however. So hold your breaths, folks. Hold your breaths. If you're a San Francisco Blackhawk rooter, cross your fingers. If you're an oh no, that's it. That's it. 2-1. The Heat take over first place in the Southern Division. A gallant effort on the part of the Blackhawks. Joe, still a productive weekend for them.
Well, they got 1 point in the second match, and the Heat got 8, though. The Heat now have 76 points. The Nomads have 70. It's going to come down to the final game for both teams on the 22nd of July. That game will probably decide the first place match of the Southern Division, and who will host on the 29th and who will play on the road on the 29th in the league semifinals.
I think that's a good call. Littman really did a job in those first 30 minutes, keeping his team in the game when they were behind 1-0.
The San Francisco Bay Blackhawks played nobly. They're in second place right now. They've got a playoff squabble on their hands. They've still got to beat out Portland and Seattle. But they got that extra point now. It's tough to win 2 on the road consecutive nights, and I think to do as well as they did, getting 10 points, they have nothing to be ashamed of.
Our friends in the San Francisco Bay Area, if you're looking for something to do on July 8th, come out to Stanford Stadium in Palo Alto and see your San Francisco Blackhawks take on Arizona and give them the support they need. They have performed nobly on the road. When they return to the Bay Area, they'll come and see them play and see top-flight soccer in the Western Soccer League. Tonight it was the Heat who took the game 2-1. A great effort, Johnny Boyle and Joe Naiman for George Marble Productions. Johnny Boyle for George Marble Productions. As this tape is going mainly back to the San Francisco Bay Area, I wanted to speak to and congratulate some of the Blackhawk players who I thought put in an outstanding weekend to play. And our first guest is
Dominic Kinnear.
Dominic, how you doing? Number 8 out there. And Dom, very nice to come by. Kind of a heartbreaking loss in a way because you guys came so close to tying it up. A score in the first 5 minutes, and then they came back. But still, your coach wanted points for the weekend, and it was pretty successful. 9 points yesterday, 1 point today, and a pretty good week's work on the road. How do you feel about it?
Well, we feel great. I mean, well, it's disappointing, of course, to lose, but, you know, we came down to sweep to the LA and San Diego. We got LA the first night. We felt really confident coming into the LA game, and we started like a house on fire. A great goal, Steve Corping, free kick. You know, something we work on in practice. And we kind of, you know, we let them get back into it, and they got a goal. Second half came out. We were kind of sitting back, a little bit rusty, I guess, maybe a little fatigued from the San Diego game, and they get a goal, and then we stick it into higher gear. And their goalie has a great game. He probably dreamed that last night. You know, saved by his post, saved by everything, his foot, his head, his chest, whatever, and just couldn't get the ball in the net. We were pressing really hard in the last 15 minutes.
Oh, boy, indeed you were. Look, not only do you play well, you speak very well, too. Give us a bit of your soccer background, if you mind. Where did you go to school?
I went to John F. Kennedy High in Fremont, and I will be attending USF next year.
So we can look forward to you with many, many years of soccer ahead of you, but in the Bay Area, and who knows, a national team berth as well. We thank you so much for coming by today. Very gracious of you to come on, and lots of luck now for the Blackhawks in the future.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll see you in the playoffs.
Indeed. Thank you. One more guest from the Blackhawks before they start the fireworks display. Your name, sir?
Is Alan Bailey.
Did a great job. Number 6 last night. It said number 3 on the program, but you're one of the golden wall of defenders back there. Did so well last night. Hard work this weekend, 9 points. That's pretty good for a road trip, wouldn't you say?
Well, we came down and really win, too. We'd like to win, too, and push ourselves back in the first place. But, you know, now we're only like 3 or 4 points out. And we're going up north in a couple weeks, and that's going to determine, like, our fate.
Well, I tell you, you impressed the Southern California fans with your play. All of you. You came down to win on this weekend on the road. You almost carried it off. Give us a bit about your background, Alan.
Well, there's a lot of our guys who have played together, and we're all from local colleges around San Francisco Bay Area. And Dean brought us all together. We've had a number of tryouts from all the local players from around that area, and we think that we found the best. And we've got a really good team, and we're really excited about our whole program, and our organization is really good, and everything is first class, and we're real excited about the whole league and everything that's going on with this.
Well, you know,
fan support and everything.
We do all the road games, or all the home games, I should say, for the Nomads, and you people were by far the best team to come down there and play the Nomads, and we really enjoyed seeing you play. What's going to happen now next week up at Stanford Stadium when you take on Arizona?
We're going to take on Arizona and take it to them. We got to get back on the track.
Got to go for 9 points next week, a win and a lot of goals.
We need a full 9 next week. And, you know, we gotta get in the right track for our trip up north.
I want to commend you guys, by the way, not only for playing so hard this weekend, but coming out, signing autographs here for this LA crowd after the game. It's hard when you lose, but you guys not only great players, but gracious players as well. Thank you, Alan.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Can't say goodbye to you folks without bringing on one of the winners, and they were impressive today. And our guest, very kind to come in out of the fireworks display, is
Brian Wendell.
Brian, how you doing? Number 15 out there.
Right.
Good-looking young fellow. Boy, playing in front of this Southern California crowd. You must have a lot of gal friends out here. You guys play so well.
We're doing all right. We're just going as hard as we can right now. I don't know. We're building from last year. It's a lot of guys coming back from last year, and that hasn't been around with the Heat for a while.
You know, the Nomads were on a roll early in the year. We've been doing their games, and they're a great team. But you people with tonight's work have now passed them, I understand. First place, how does it feel?
It feels great. We've been striving for this the whole time. This is exactly where we want to be right now.
What I thought was impressive was you gave up a goal in the first 5 minutes. And a lot of teams would just say, oh, darn it, that's it for the weekend. You were playing against a highly motivated team, and you came back and got the 2 scores. Well, that is some work ethic, too. When did you learn your soccer?
Well, I started in ASO, like everybody, well, almost everybody. I had a few years there, and then I started playing with the club team in Diamond Bar.
Diamond Bar, by the way, we did a Diamond Bar youth game for television, about a year ago or thereabouts. Excellent program up there. What's the prognosis now for the future for you people? Looks like you're going to make a playoff berth, almost certainly, and you may be playing the Nomads, or you might be playing this team once again that you played tonight.
Well, we're just looking forward to anybody. I mean, we feel strong right now. We have a lot of talent on the team, and I think if we come out and play the soccer that we're capable of playing, that there's nobody that can stop us.
I was impressed by Lippman tonight. Now, he's the backup goalie, and if he was a backup, I would love to see that first guy, because he must be absolutely dynamite. He kept you people in the game tonight in the first half when they had the best of the play. So what an effort you people put on tonight.
Right, Mike is a great goalie. He is. Dave hasn't been in practice. He's been playing with the national team. So they decided, since Dave hasn't been in practice, they're going to put Mike in. But they're both really good keepers.
Well, you people showed us a lot tonight. Our first look at the LA Heat, and we hope to see more of you come playoff time. We may be doing some of the games for both San Francisco and San Diego, and I think we're going to cross paths again. It was fun seeing you play. Congratulations on a fine victory, and happy 4th of July.
Okay, thank you. You too.
Number 15 did a job tonight, Mr. Wendell. Johnny, well, the Heat indeed turned on the heat here for the 4th of July. Jeff Hooker with us, and Jeff, how you doing tonight?
Doing fine, thanks.
First place, congratulations.
Yeah, we've waited a long time. We lost to this team our first game of the season and have been in second the whole time. So it's nice to get back on top again.
I want to talk about a play you made in this game. I saw my soccer in Europe, and you made a play. It didn't quite connect tonight. You took a high ball that was put into the box, and as you came running through, almost headed it in on the dead run. What did you see there, and what were you thinking, and how close was it to being a score?
It was a great ball that got played in. It was a little too high to get any kind of power on it. So I just tried to loft it over the keeper's head and made a run across, just tried to get in front of John Doyle, and was able to do it. So just unfortunately didn't go in.
And Doyle is some defender out there, by the way. We did the game last night up in San Diego where the San Francisco Blackhawks came down and played their hearts out to beat the Nomads, who have been on a roll. And you folks and the Nomads and the Timbers and the Blackhawks, boy, you're all knotted up now, and it's going to be some playoff come the end of the year, huh?
I know, looking for an exciting playoff because the teams are so well balanced. And John Doyle, I thought, had a terrific game. He was really tough to beat in the air and on the ground, and pretty much dominated whenever he wanted to.
Jeff, where did you learn your soccer? What's your soccer background?
I played ASO for a year, and then grew up just a local club team in Diamond Bar.
Diamond Bar as well. Boy, Diamond Bar, we did a youth game for Diamond Bar a couple of years ago. Diamond Bar must have some programs to turn out players like yourself.
Well, we did. We had a really good program when I was younger. It turned out Paul Caligari and a couple other of really fine players.
Well, we thank you so much for coming in to speak with us tonight. And the Heat, boy, it's a big night. You guys have claimed part of first place, and good luck to you now for the rest of the year. We'll see you come playoff time. Huh?
Okay, thanks very much.
Now, I'm glad that Eric came by to say hello also, because I made a mistake in this game. I thought Eric came into the game somewhat late, but he was in there the whole game. Eric, a little controversy at the end of the game. Tell us what happened there.
Oh, they were coming at us pretty good. A lot of the guys, we were panicking towards the end there. A lot of guys thought that the referee stopped it sooner than the clock said, but the referee keeps time and ended when it did.
Now, did they catch a post at the end of the game there?
Yes, they did.
Oh,
it was very close. That's what happens in the late of the game here in this league, which is really good. The games are really close, and that's what happens when we're up one, and they just keep pounding.
Well, you guys tonight, now, you fell behind in the first 5 minutes of play, and you could just easily roll over and play dead to a team that came in here with a hot hand, and instead you came back and got the victory and claimed part of first place. Remarkable. What a great July 4th present for you all.
Yes, they're a very good team. That's one characteristic of this team is we have the skill and we have the players to come back and a lot of composure to come back like we did.
Indeed. Tell us your background now. Where have you learned your soccer?
I grew up in Huntington Beach. I played ASO for about 3 years in Region 56. I played club for about 3 or 4 years, and then went in Edison High School and played at UCLA for 4 years. And I've been playing with the Heat now for 2 years.
Well, you guys have a great soccer future ahead of you, and it's going to be a lot of heat this summer when you all get together in the playoffs.
I hope so.
Thank you so much, Eric. Thank you for coming by now. And, folks, you're looking at some of the trophies won by the Heat, and perhaps there's another one on the way. They played brilliantly tonight. and took the measure of the Blackhawks down from the Bay Area. But it was a thrilling game, and just everyone played so well on this July 4th holiday. Johnny Boyle for George Marvel Productions. That's all for this time now. Until next time, goodbye, everybody.